everybody. Welcome to, or welcome back to my channel. This is Auntie Q ASMR, and I am back again this evening and joining you once again from my closet floor for another video in the hopes to relax you and to help you find some sleep in peace. So what do we think of this lighting situation? I'll get into everything that I have to share with you today in just a moment, because I am ever so excited for this video. But I was just testing out, kind of getting this one started, and I thought, since this light provided by the dehumidifier is enough light by which I can read the notes that I've written, then maybe I'll go ahead and try to take a video and under this lighting, because it's definitely not as harsh as the regular lighting that I have. So we'll see, and then you'll have to tell me what you think. But I'm nevertheless excited. I'm gonna take a sip of tea really quickly, and then I do have one other beverage. I'm glad I sorted out that I was gonna try filming with this light first, because the only reason I saved this beverage to film with was because it comes in a bottle. This is just one of those sparkling mineral waters. Sparkling mineral waters by Topo Chico. Is that right? I think that's correct. Yeah, Topo Chico. My dad's been super into these lately, and every time I go in to visit, he'll have a bunch, and he's been like telling me to try them. And they are good. I'm not quite as into them as he is, but for the purposes of the video, it'll certainly donate some good sounds. And so I was going to pour that for you, since I have a cup in here. This one might be cursed though, because the last 2 times I've tried to film with it, I have immediately knocked over all the water. I was trying to see if I could grab a bunch of the steam and catch it inside the cup. You kind of can, but not enough that you could really tell. Well, you kind of could on that one, huh? I don't know. I'm just messing around. I'll get into the video. Just pour this really quickly. And the trick is to get it close enough to the microphone that you can enjoy the sound of it opening, but not too close that it's too loud. So let's do our best. That was kind of a rip-off anyway. It was either kind of a rip-off or kind of a failure on my part. But I've still got this, so we can do that. one word in particular, and that word is my favorite. That word is one that I'd like to share with you today, this evening. Now, I don't know if it's a very commonly known word because I've only ever met one other individual who had known it before I shared it with them. And I'm always so pleased to be able to share this word with anybody who will listen for me to tell it to them, because I've never known anybody to be displeased by learning this word. So let me ask you, do you enjoy the rain? Do you enjoy a day where it's just raining and you can hear the sound of the rain striking the pavement and everything is peaceful? It kind of has that sound and that feel to it. I love the rain. The rain is my favorite. I know that some people aren't a big fan of rain, but I love the rain. But you know what almost everybody can agree on is the smell of rain being fantastic. The smell of rain is fantastic. Now, have you ever stopped to wonder, does that smell have a name or a word for it? Yes, it does. It absolutely does, and it happens to be my very most favorite word. And that's what I wanted to share with you this evening. So I have a whole video planned and put together to share that with you. And the word for the smell of rain. The smell of rain. The smell of rain. The word for the smell of rain is Petrichor. The word for the smell of rain is Petrichor. Now, I've got my knitting needle just as a pointer so that I can do some pointing and some tracing over the notes that I've taken down. Look, oh, that's kind of neat. When the light turns purple, my highlighter fluoresces. Oh, kind of even more so in the blue light, kind of like a black light. Does this also? No, I don't think so, because it's not a tonic water. Let me get sidetracked for a second here. If the blue light were shining on this mineral water and it were a tonic water instead of a mineral water, the tonic water would be fluorescing as well. See how this one is not? It's not. Tonic waters would be fluorescing under black light, and that is because they have guanine, if I'm not mistaken. I could almost swear that the name of the thing that fluoresces in tonic water is guanine. I believe that is spelled Quanine. Quinine. Might be quinine. Oh, no. I don't like mispronouncing things. Here we are in a video about words. And I'm uncertain about a word. Quinine. Oh goodness. Well, my point is, tonic water fluoresces, but mineral water does not. I digress. So you will not be able to see the notes in the notebook that I have in front of me here, but this used to be a journal of mine that I repurposed for ASMR video note taking, and today's video being all about Petrichor, I do have some notes in here that I'll be going off of now. Quick shout out. Most of the information that I got in my notes here, I gathered from the Stuff You Should Know podcast that they performed on Petrichor. It was not one of their full-length shows. It was one of their Stuff You Should Know shorts. So it's like a 15-minute long installment on Petrichor. The smell of rain. So that was incredibly helpful. Shout out to those two gentlemen who run that podcast. I'm finding it quite enjoyable. My mom recommended it to me. Actually, she watched the two-parter that they did on the Malaysian Airlines flight that disappeared, and that was really great. I was actually following that story for the first couple of years after it happened. I believe back in 2014. I had heard quite a thing on it for a long time. I didn't realize that there were predominant leading theories on it, but there actually are, so check it out. But I heavily sourced their short podcast on the smell of rain for this video that I'm creating, so I will put some information for that down below. And with all of that said, let's go ahead and get into it. So, Petrichor, yes, is the smell of rain. The smell of rain. Petrichor. Petrichor is the smell of rain that you experience when you go outside, especially after a light rain. Especially after a light rain. And I can explain that as well. Now, Petrichor is a name that comes out of Australia in the 1960s. The name came out of Australia in the 1960s. And it is based on two Greek words. I have a tattoo that's Greek. I should have saved that for this word, but I didn't know this word at the time. I could still do it. I don't know. I really do want a tattoo for this word because I just love the word. Anyway, the name Petrichor comes out of Australia in the 1960s and is based off of not one, but two Greek words. The first Greek word is Petros. That's P-E-T-R-O-S. joined by 2 researchers. The first researcher is Isabel Joy Badger, I think. Sometimes it's hard to read my own handwriting. It's really bad. Does anybody else have that problem? My own handwriting is absolutely atrocious. Was that awkward? I was just grabbing a thumbnail. Anyway. Yeah, my handwriting is atrocious, but I do believe that her name was Isabel Joy Badger, and I do apologize to Isabel if I am mispronouncing that or getting that wrong. I took these notes down about a week ago, and I'm finally getting down to making this video because I was waiting on one other thing for this, and I'll get into that. But anyway, so yes, the name was coined by Isabel and also Richard Thomas, her partner, her research partner. Richard Thomas. That was in 1964 in an article that they wrote for the journal Nature. That article was entitled The Nature of Argalicious Scents or Odors. That's what I wrote actually. The nature of Argalicious Odors. And that excited me, and I'll tell you why. That excited me because Argalicious was yet another new word to me, and I just love when I learn new words. So, if you will allow me, Argalicious, spelled A-R-G-I-L-A-C-E-O-U-S, Argalicious is referring to the rocks or sediment. So it is either being comprised of rocks, sediment, clay, etc. Either refers to being comprised of or to the scent or odor of the rocks, sediment, clay, basically the earth, basically. So Argalicious, A-R-G-I-L-A-C-E-O-U-S, Argalicious odors. So in this article for the journal Nature, The Nature of Argalicious Odors by Miss Isabel Joy Badger and Mr. Richard Thomas in 1964. They were discussing what causes that scent, that Argalicious odor that we experience after the smell of rain. And they were positing that the smell that we experience is a result of several things that merge under the circumstances presented that you get as a result of a rainfall. They said it results from a combination of several circumstances that merge together, particularly after rainfall. And you'll notice that the scent is stronger, particularly after a long dry spell. things, of course, merging together, once again under these proper circumstances. The set of circumstances that you find after rainfall, particularly after a dry spell. So what are these things? What are these factors? Well, the first one, and this is something that they knew back in 1964, but could not yet prove. Okay, they knew back in 1964, Isabel and Richard did, but they could not yet prove. And that first contributing factor is, are you ready for what is likely going to be a new word? Geosmin. Geosmin. That's geosmin spelled Geosmin. Geosmin. Now, geosmin is a molecule created by the bacteria Streptomyces when it dies or when it is consumed by something else. So geosmin is a molecule. Geosmin is the first ingredient, or the first of those three components that merge together to create petrichor and geosmin. Geosmin is a molecule that is created by the bacteria Streptomyces when it dies, and when it is consumed by other things. Streptomyces. You might think that that sounds familiar. That's S-T-R-E-P-T-O-M-Y-C-E-S. Streptomyces. Now that's the same bacteria that we've gotten our antibiotics from, for example. So we found a lot of uses for Streptomyces, and that's good. That's good because it's extremely prevalent. It exists all over healthy ground and in healthy soil. That's why you'll experience that scent regardless of where it rains, because Streptomyces is pretty ubiquitous. So that's the first thing. They knew back in 1964 that it was geosmin, primarily that we were smelling. It's that earthy smell. It's that earthy, argillicious smell. Geosmin. They knew that back in 1964, but they couldn't prove it because what they didn't know was how it was getting into the air. How is it that that is what we were ultimately smelling after the rainfall? Now that took some time. That took a little bit of time. Actually quite a bit of time, and quite a few other people to figure out. Now, ultimately they did prove to be correct. This was proven in 2015 by MIT researchers. MIT researchers proved in 2015, once and for all, that geosmin was what was contributing to that earthy, argillicious smell that you experience after rainfall. And they found that it became aerosolized. That's how it got into the air. present. What they found, and how they found this was via the use of very close up cameras, right on, recording the ground in slow motion at the moment of impact when the rain fell. And what they found is that the rain falls, and it's as it's falling, it hits the ground. And when it hits the ground, you got the rain hitting the ground, right? And then as it hits the ground, it traps bubbles upon impact. It traps bubbles. And these bubbles, they get trapped inside the raindrop as it's hitting the ground. And then they get forced through the raindrop, up, through and out of the raindrop. And it's through that process and that action of being forced, trapped, and then forced up and through and out of the raindrop that everything in that air bubble becomes aerosolized. And what it takes with it from the ground up is some of that geosmin, and that is ultimately how the geosmin becomes aerosolized, so that as it begins to rain, we get that scent that we refer to as petrichor, which is just so lovely. So lovely. So that's why a light rainfall is actually going to ultimately result in a stronger or a greater geosmin petrichor smell, because we are relying in the end on the wind to carry the scent after it becomes aerosolized. People often even say that they smell petrichor and they think that it's going to begin raining, or they associate the smell of petrichor with an indication of rain starting. And the reason for that is because it is generally going to be most noticeable just at the start of a rainstorm, before things kick up so much that there's just a downpour without really the wind being able to break through the downpour and carry away the scent. So that's why you'll notice the smell more on a light rainfall, which is just, I don't know, so interesting. Now, here's a little bit more information for you on geosmin before I kind of touch on the other two factors that are involved with the production of that smell, that petrichor smell. So, first of all, humans are incredibly sensitive to that smell of geosmin. And we're also, by and large, incredibly fond of the smell. By and large, most people will say that they are fond of the smell of rain, or that they think of it pleasantly. And there might be an evolutionary component to that. And there may be an evolutionary benefit for us being so attracted or having such an affinity to that smell. And there's an indicator for this. And that is that humans are so sensitive to the scent of geosmin, to the smell of rain, to petrichor. Humans are more sensitive to that scent than any other animal. And to give you some perspective on that, humans are more sensitive to the smell of rain than sharks are to the smell of blood. Now, a lot of sharks, crazy nose for blood has been overhyped, overstated. They said that sharks could detect blood as little as 1 part per billion. 1 part per billion. Well, we humans can detect geosmin 5 parts per trillion. 5 parts per trillion with a T. That's crazy. That's absolutely wild. So that's why it's kind of theorized that evolutionarily we benefited from this ability to detect that scent, and that's why we have such an affinity for it. We may have relied on it to be able to find sources of water, perhaps. So that's interesting. Something else cool for you that I think, you know what, I'm going to touch on that. I'm going to touch on that at the very end. I'll leave that one for the end. But there are a few more here, a few more bonus facts about geosmin. So, that scent of geosmin does not only come from the scent of rain, it does have some other sources. For example, the terroir of wine. Terroir. I'm gonna be pronouncing that terribly because I have horrible French pronunciation, but the terroir of wine, which just refers to the complete environment in which the wine was grown, and also to the earthy notes imparted to the wine because of it. So it gives the wine its characteristic taste, but also mineral water. So you know what? That's funny. I'd forgotten that was even included in the notes. So this beverage is more befitting of this video than just for the sounds only, because geosmin is also in this mineral water. Oh, I spilled a tiny bit. Let's be careful, shall we? So the terroir of wine, giving it its characteristic scent. And then we also had it in mineral water. And it is also what gives beets their earthy flavor. Geosmin is also responsible for giving beets their earthy flavor. Their earthy flavor. Their earthy flavor. Their earthy flavor. So, perhaps in that sense, some people could dislike it as a flavor, but like it as a scent. Kind of like how I love my floral teas. Love my floral teas. And most people love floral scents, but not everybody is going to like a floral tea. To a lot of people, floral teas taste dystopy, especially jasmine, which is what I'm drinking for my tea this evening. But for a lot of people, they find it to basically just be soapy. So maybe it's the same way with geosmin. In any case, I certainly love both. So those are some bonus facts about geosmin, the first of the components that give us petrichor. Now, what that petrichor scent. But petrichor is not just an earthy scent. Ozone imparts a crisp and clean scent. Crisp and clean scent. Because ozone is the smell that you get from like a crack of lightning. When lightning strikes and you get that clean, sterilized scent to the air surrounding, that is ozone. And that is also why you'll have a different experience smelling petrichor in the city versus smelling it in the woods or the country. Because like I said, the primary contributor to petrichor is geosmin, and geosmin exists ubiquitously across all lands, city or country. But a country is going to have more, especially respectively compared to the ozone, because there's more dirt, right? And it's mostly going to be found in soil. So a country's going to have more dirt, more geosmin than a city, which only has it on the sidewalks and stuff. They were even mentioning in the podcast that it's not for the reason that a city is dirtier and thus becomes more heavily cleaned by the rain, and that is why it smells more clean after a rain, but rather because the ratio of geosmin to ozone is going to have more ozone in a city than you would find in a country. And since the ozone is what's giving you the crisp and clean scent versus the geosmin giving you the more earthy soil, rock, argillicious scent, the petrichor that you experience in the city is going to smell cleaner. It's going to smell cleaner due to the ozone, which I thought was just so interesting. So interesting. And there's one final component. Now this is believed to be a component. Not yet proven. But the presumed third component into what gives us that ultimate petrichor scent is terpenes. Terpenes are what give plants their break off, and they kind of get sprinkled about the ground after they break off, and then they get pulverized and crushed, kind of like if you were putting herbs in a mortar and pestle. They became crushed and pulverized. And then similarly to how the geosmin is trapped in an air bubble and then becomes aerosolized once it is shot through the raindrop as a result of just the geosmin being on the ground, similar to that the terpenes from the plant matter will in wood as well. And so it is believed to be the third component in petrichor, and the reason why you'll have a stronger petrichor experience after a long dry spell. So I just thought that was fan-freaking-tastic to have all that information, because it is my favorite word. I finally got to learn that that was a word thanks to a fellow YouTuber, actually. Not an ASMR YouTuber, but one that I greatly enjoy watching nonetheless. Every time she puts out a new video, I watch that day. And she posts midday when she posts, so every time it's like I get off of work and she has a new video and I get to sit down and watch it, and that's like my little break after work before everything else is watching her new upload. And that YouTuber is Emmy Made in Japan. Emmy Made in Japan. Emmy Made in Japan. I think she's just a delight. She's just a happy, seemingly happy person. She seems to have a vast curiosity and just this sort of energy and just curiosity that she carries with her, and everything that she's interested in she just chases down. And that's what you'll find on her channel, is just a smattering of just really anything. She'll take it and she'll try it and she'll learn about it and really dive in, and I really admire that. I'd like to be able to do that, just be vastly curious, and she gets to just share that with people, and I think that's great. And she was talking about the word petrichor, and that's where I learned it from, and ever since it's been my favorite word. I learned it several years ago, but it's my favorite word. But I didn't know who gave it the name or what created the scent until just a few weeks ago, and I'm so pleased. So I wanted to share that with you. That is petrichor, the smell of rain caused by geosmin, caused by ozone, and potentially also terpenes. There is just one last thing. The fun fact that I skipped over, and the reason why I didn't immediately get to filming this video after I found out all this information, and that brings us back to geosmin for a moment. In India and in Indian perfumery, they have found a way to harness not the entire smell of petrichor, but just the geosmin, so just that argalicious, earthy, clay-like, stone-like scent. They have long since actually found a way to capture that, and they use it in perfumery, and apparently, as of recent times, the European and Western markets are catching up to that. Apparently the smell's not for everybody, because once again, it's not the full petrichor, it's just like the earthier part. But that's something that they touched on in the podcast, and I was immediately certain that I needed to acquire some of this. They refer to it as something else in the video, but it is called Miti Attar. Miti Attar. M-I-T-T-I-A-T-T-A-R. And You'll likely not be able to read that label because of the lighting, but you might be able to see that out of this whole container that I have here, it is only half full. It's the tiniest, tiniest little bit of this essential oil, this essential meaty attar oil. It costs like $20. And I thought it's probably gonna be good because it's such a small amount of it. It's 2.5 milliliters of it for $20. So it made me hopeful that it had to be good because if it's that expensive, it's gotta be good, right? So I ordered it and I wanted to wait until I got it and this dehumidifier to film the video so that I could also share that with you. And so that's what I was doing when I was getting the video set up, and that's why I was so careful to like get all of it in the water because it costs so dang much. But yeah, okay, so it's been on, right, this whole video. And as far as how it smells, I mean, they definitely did capture like that pavement smell. They definitely did, and I do find it to be a relaxing scent. But it's not Petrichor. Like if you were just to have me smell that, I don't know what I would say that I thought it was. I would probably say that I thought that it was sandalwood. I'm pretty sure that's not what sandalwood smells like, but it's what I'm thinking that it smells like. But it does smell like something else familiar, something else used in essential oil more commonly. And it also does smell like men's perfume. I'm a big fan of wearing men's colognes because I like those fragrances more, and I used to have one. Sauvage by Dior that I'm pretty sure smells like just like this. Not entirely just like that. It had Sauvage by Dior has a lot more of like an artificial fresh smell, so I don't like it anymore. It has too much of that like just got out of the shower smell, like the Axe body spray version though, not the good version. This isn't like that. It definitely smells good. And if you knew what you were trying to smell for it, definitely it smells like pavement after rain. But not completely. Not completely. Maybe not like $20 where it's spot on. But I read through the comments when I purchased it, and some people were saying it's great. Some people were saying it's not great at all. A lot of people said that when you get the dropper, the bottle, and you smell that, that does not smell like Petrichor. It does not smell like the scent of rain. Because it's too strong, it's too concentrated, which kind of makes sense. But they said that after you start to diffuse it, then you really do smell the smell of rain, and it's not bad. I'm not displeased. I think it'll be very calming to have this going at my desk while I'm doing my work. It's a good smell. I do like it a lot. I totally did not put that down quietly whatsoever. My bad. But yeah, I just really wanted to film that video because I love words, and I thought this might be a good concept even share that with you. And hopefully you enjoyed. Hopefully you enjoyed. Hopefully you learned something. Tell me down in the comments, were you familiar with the word petrichor before? Did we know that it existed as a word, that the smell of rain had been given a name? Did you know where it came from? Did you know what the smell was caused by already? And not only is it my favorite word, I don't just think it's neat that the smell of rain has been given a name. It is also my favorite scent, I do have to say. I think it's just lovely. So you can imagine how thrilled I was to learn all of this and be able to share it with you. So I'd love to know your thoughts. And I'd love to know, what do you think about the smell of rain? Am I wrong? Is there anybody out there who does hate the smell? I don't know. But let me know down in the comments below what you thought. Let me know what videos you'd like to see from me in the future. What is your favorite smell? What is your favorite word? Would you like to continue with more in this type of, in this same vein, videos about words? I don't know. I would kind of like that, I think. Like word videos. I don't know. Maybe I could do something like that. So hopefully I'll be able to edit this video and get it up this weekend. I have some other videos filmed, pre-recorded, but I wanted to bring them up because they were, I just posted a D video and the other one is also a D video. But I'm uploading one right now. It should also be done uploading and probably published as we speak. I set it up to be instant published while I filmed this video, so I'll double check on that in a second here. And finish my tea with you. Just make sure I didn't leave anything out of this video before I wrap up filming. Let me just make sure that I didn't miss anything before I wrap up filming, because that would be a bummer. After I was so excited to make this video, like I said, I found out about that podcast when my mom told me about it. I listened to the 2 episodes that she recommended for the Malaysian Airlines, and then I found out that they did a short about the the smell of rain. And like I said, that was about a week ago. I immediately sat down to write notes about it in this used to be a journal. You might notice that all the pages are torn out, or a good bunch of them are torn out. About half the book is torn out. Completed about half of it, and then I don't know if anybody who's ever had or attempted to have a daily journaling habit has ever gotten to a point where they get in a rut, or maybe they're just writing stuff that's not quite pleasing, and that's okay. But I create things in my mind that just make things into a big deal sometimes. And I got to a point with writing in here, and I just wasn't pleased with everything that I had to write each day. I almost felt like this had bad vibes. And I didn't want to keep writing in it as my daily journal. So I stopped that. I stopped writing in it daily. I didn't want to waste it either. But I didn't want to keep writing it really at all, given how I felt about it. So the only way I could think of to cleanse it was to tear out all the pages that I'd written on before and throw them in the trash. And then just turn it into my ASMR brainstorming journal, which I think is a pretty good repurpose. So that's what I did. And then I wrote down all my notes when I listened to the podcast on Petrichor. And then throughout the process of that, of course, found out about media some that we have yet to still understand, and it's believed that plants create greater terpenes and a stronger scent during times or when there is about to be rainfall. It's just believed that plants create more terpenes around a rainstorm due to mechanisms that we don't quite understand yet, causing them to create more during that time and contributing to a stronger scent. So that was one thing that I missed. Then let me just double check everything else here that I got. Vaporized the rainfall. Okay, cool. Oh, okay, perfect. Perfect. I got everything except one last thing here. One last thing, and it was my bonus word, so that's exciting. I do a bonus word for you. While we're on the topic, when I started the video, I asked you, regardless of how you felt about the scent of rain, though, do let me know if I was wrong and if there's anybody out there who dislikes it. But regardless, I asked, do you like the rain itself? Now, if you do, if you're like me and you love the rain, then you are a pluviophile. A pluviophile. Pluviophile. That's spelled Pluviophile. 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 A lover of rain is a pluviophile. So, that was it, folks. That was everything that I had for you. Just a couple of bonus facts and that one bonus word. So do tell me in the comments down below, are you a pluviophile? And what did you think of this video? And what would you like to see next? And of course, please like, comment, and subscribe. All of those things. Subscribe for more videos. I can't wait to bring you. And other than that, I really do hope that you enjoyed. I hope that you learned something.